In my years as a high school teacher and as a parish priest, working with various groups within the parish, be they youth groups or young adult groups or even adult education groups, when we get to a question and answer time in the classes, a common question that'll come up is, why did you become a priest? Why they'll ask, why did I become a priest? Or when did I come to understand that I was called to be a priest? When did I make that decision in my life? And it's a good question, and it usually isn't one that's asked right away. It's usually one that, you may be teaching them for a few months before they kind of get the courage up to ask it. And usually it's a good sign because it means that they're feeling comfortable with me, and they feel comfortable enough to ask that question and those questions. I have had situations, let's say at cocktail parties or at different functions, where people that I hardly know, people that I maybe just met, will ask me that question and sometimes even phrase it in rather blunt ways. And to be honest with you, that's their backdoor way, or maybe sometimes front door way, of asking about celibacy and priestly celibacy and my feelings on priestly celibacy. And quite often, in that case, I'm kind of taken aback because I often wonder, would they go up to somebody and ask them, why did you marry so and so? Why did you marry your wife? Why did you marry your husband? You might ask that question of someone you've known for a very long time and have a very close relationship with, but I doubt that's a question you would ask to someone you've just met. But yet, in my business, if you will, people feel very free to ask all sorts of questions that may or may not be appropriate in other situations. Whether it's in the classroom or whether it's at some type of social function that I happen to find myself at, I welcome the questions, even kind of the rude ones, if you will, because they're an opening. They're an opening to talk about the faith. They're an opening, yes, to talk about my vocation, but always within the context of the faith and what it means to be a Christian and to be a Catholic. This really kind of gets to the heart of what I'd like to talk about over the next couple of videos. Not my vocation, but the faith itself. Not why did I become a priest, though I will talk about that at a future time, but really, why am I a Catholic? I think that's a more basic question and a question that has to be answered before we can kind of go on and talk about the vocational aspect. And certainly, I think like most people, or many people, when I made my confirmation, I was sincere. I really believed what I was professing. I was in 7th or 8th grade. I don't remember exactly, but I was in those middle school years, and certainly as high school wore on, as I began to really read more about other religions, read more about other philosophies, I did question a little bit in terms of whether this faith in Jesus Christ was the right path. I never really questioned, this is just myself personally, I never really questioned the existence of God. That never, that there was a God seemed very natural to me and seemed very, atheism never quite made a lot of sense to me in my book. So I was never really tempted in that way, but certainly within the religious sphere, is this it? Is Jesus Christ the one? And is this path that we trod as Catholics really the way, the truest way among the various ways we could follow Christ? And I think there was certainly a certain point in my high school years, probably early on in my high school years, to be honest with you, where I did make that definitive decision, where I really kind of stopped questioning, because to me the questions had really been answered. And if I really boil it down today for why I stayed a Catholic and why I still am a Catholic, I'd say there's 4 basic reasons. If I thought about it a little more, I might be able to think of 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, but I could think of 4 basic reasons. And one has to do is, I think that Catholicism, Christianity in general, but Catholicism in particular, has its collective finger, if you will, on the pulse of human nature. It understands human nature better than any other religion, better than any other human philosophy. It understands the positive aspects of human nature as well as the negative aspects of human nature. I think the other three reasons that I would talk about in terms of why I'm a Catholic, why I stayed a Catholic, really has to do with the fact that I believe that Catholicism never tries to give you the easy answer. Religion in general sometimes is accused. I know Marx accused this of being the opiate of the people. That somehow we're trying to drug people into ignoring the plight of the world around them in order to focus on heaven. And I think that while that could be true of some preachers over the years and certain theologians over the years maybe, and some popular piety, that's really not the heart of Catholicism. I think if we really look very hard and fast at the doctrines of the faith and what Catholicism is saying, that there are no easy answers, and we're not going to give you the easy answer. And believe it or not, we don't know everything. It might come to surprise people. We know some things, we know some basic things, some very important things, but that ultimately there's a mystery here that needs to be accepted, that we can't know everything on this side of the veil, but that God's given us enough. God's given us what we need in order for our salvation. But he never gives us the easy, and Catholicism doesn't give us the easy answer or the easy way out. The other reason why I'm a Catholic has to do with the idea of God working through history, that God's really down here with us, and that history is moving in a direction. Our life personally is moving in a direction, but history in general is moving in a direction. And I don't necessarily mean like the Left Behind series or the kind of the more kind of evangelical so-called Bible prophecy people would like to say, but that God really is here with us, that history is moving in a direction, and that God is working through that history, and that there are bumps and there are peaks and there are valleys and there are reversals, but ultimately God's will is done. But that idea of what we call in the business salvation history always had a very strong appeal to me, and that's a reason why I'm a Catholic. And then the ultimate reason, really the last reason, has to do with the sacraments, and really which I think really encapsulates it all. Obviously, what's basic is faith in Jesus Christ. What's faith in is faith that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, is the Messiah. But within that belief, I could have veered that way and become a Protestant, or veered the other way and become a Pentecostal, or veered the other way and become a member of the Orthodox churches, or just not followed any particular denomination at all. But yet I remained a Catholic. I believe within that basic profession of faith in Jesus Christ as Lord, as Messiah, as Son of God, that Catholicism represents the sure path. As Vatican II says, it's not that the Holy Spirit abandoned the other Christian churches or Christian groups or denominations, but that the fullness of the faith really is in Rome. The fullness of the faith really resides in the Catholic Church. Now, while other groups may have aspects of the truth or portions of the truth, the fullness of that truth lies in Roman Catholicism. And those are four reasons why I stayed a Catholic, and why I really believe that in my heart. So over the next several videos, next four videos, I'm going to maybe unpack a little more what each of those things means in terms of human nature, Catholicism being most in tune with human nature, the idea of Catholicism not giving us the easy answers, certainly not the opiate of the people, and the idea of God working through history and salvation history, and ultimately the sacraments, which kind of, I think, encapsulates all the others. I hope this is beneficial to you, and I know that the videos have started piquing a little interest around. We're starting to get a little pickup here at the Axe since we've been posting these videos. Hopefully you'll continue to tune in, and hopefully you'll spread the word too, and hopefully this is worthwhile for you and for the development of your own faith. Thank you, and God bless all of you.